Hi, in this video we will consider three main steps of scorecard development process in Plug and Score Modeler. This is data preparation, first one, second one is data analysis, and the third part is mainly scorecard modeling. So let's begin. Let's consider what is a scorecard. Scorecard is a table with a number of characteristics and points for each of them. To gauge the rate or score, we need to sum the weights of clients' characteristics. Higher the score, the better the client, and lower the risk. So we are going to build a scorecard using Plug and Score Modeler. For this aim, we need a data set. Let's load it. The data set is loading. In this data set should be presented a variable that we call target variable. This variable we are going to predict using other variables. As you see in the in this row, there are names of variables. We are clicking OK. The data set is loading, and then we are going to process this data. In the data, there can be presented some anomalies. When I say anomalies, I mean missing variables, wrong variables, wrong input, for example, text in numerical variables, or outliers. Here only outliers are presented. Here in the top row we can see the names of variables. They were automatically uploaded from the top row of the CSV file. We click OK and load in the dataset, processing it. Here we can, in this window, we can choose what to do with anomalies. Now we will disable records with anomalies simply. There are only 5, and finish with working with this data set. Here we can work with anomalies if we need this. For example, we can show only anomalies. There are only 5 of them, as we told. And now we disabled these rows. On the left you can see a number of categories in categorical variables, and here on the right you can see some histograms for all the variables. And now we're finishing with this, working with raw data. We click on Finish Processing. Yes, and we're deleting the disabled rows. It took some time, and now we have the whole data set. Here we should select target variable. It should be a variable with only 2 categories, and in our case, good category is a category with low credit risk. We should pay attention that Plug and Score Modeler automatically divides the whole data set to the 2 data sets, training one and validation one. Training one we will use to train our model, and validation will be used to test our model. Here we can manually assign the row to the validation subset or back to the training subset. Then we proceed to the variables tab. Here we have some statistics. IV means information value. Information value is a measure of predictive strengths of the variable. So if we sort them by IV, savings will be the most predictive variable, and home ownership will be the least predictive variable. All numerical variables have automatically been transformed to the categorical ones, but we need to correct this being. For example, let's have a look on the job time. For binning, there are a few simple rules. There should be a maximum 5 different categories. It should be at least 5% of the subset in each category. We're trying to maximize IV. Here it is 0.79. It is a very predictive variable. And maybe the most important one, it should be a logical trend. Here is an upgrowing logical trend, so it means that the client that has a big job and work experience, for example 5 years, he will be in the last category, has a lower risk than the client without any work experience. These two categories have about the same bad rate, so we can merge them, and now we have only 4 categories. Here we can move vertical A's, or just place here and click on set value if we need, for example, an integer number. Now, when the correct binning for all the variables is done, we are moving forward to the tab Scorecard. The scorecard have been built automatically, and here you can see the scorecard points for each variable and each category. Here we can change the values in the expert way. For example, to renew the logical order. Here we can place 132 against instead of 152. So now we can look on the right. One of the most important characteristics of the scorecard is ROC curve and Gini coefficient. Here presented Gini coefficients for training and validation subsets, and Gini coefficients that more than 0.6 means that the model is a very good classifier. There are also Kolmogorov-Smirnov curves with a good result, 64 and 68 in the validation and training subsets, cumulative good and bad rates, and this graph is important, good and bad distribution. Here the red ones is bad, and green ones is the distribution of good ones. We see that the mean value for bad ones is 459, and mean value for good one is 722. We can move the cutoff point. The cutoff point is a point from, for example, if we place it on 597, this means that the model thinks that after the cutoff point, when the score is more than 597, the rows will be and clients will be classified as good ones. If the score of client will be lower than 597, they will be classified as bad. Let's look on the classification graphs. with this cutoff point, and we can see that 84% of bad ones are correctly classified. This means that only 1 from 7 beds will be classified incorrect. So this scorecard is quite precise, but let's look on the distributions on the training and validation subsets separately. Training and validation 1. We see that that classification correctness and it is called error matrix changed insufficiently. This means that the scorecard is not only a good classifier, but it is also a stable classifier. So we've built a scorecard which is both a good classifier and a stable classifier. Now we can make a look on the scoring reports. We can sort the rows by the score, and we can see that for the lower values we have predictions bad, and for the higher values we have a prediction as a good category, and the cutoff point was 597. So now we can export the report by pressing here export table, or we can save our scorecard with our points for each category. We can save it to the file, or we can save it to the C source code. So there are 3 main steps of scorecard building. First is the preparation of the data, second one is data analysis, and third one is the scorecard modeling. We will consider some aspects of scorecard building in Plugin Score Modeler in next videos. Thank you for your attention.